I've been doing some things with ChatGPT and Bard in terms of math, and they'll just flat out get math equations. Like, they'll get the formula, but the actual math, like, 100 times, 30 is, 300, things like that. I'm like, and I go, and you have to go through iterations, and finally it's like, oh yeah, and it corrects itself. But math is one of those things that I've seen, strangely enough, they're not very good at.
Yeah, some factual stuff is really, it's really interesting to see. And, sometimes it'll just give you the wrong information and you can actually correct it and say, hey, that's wrong. And it'll go, oh, I'm sorry, here's the right answer.
Yeah, because it's a language learning model. So it's learning. The more data that comes in and the more people that use it, it does start learning. But you can't, like you said, can't take everything at face value. You have to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you should be aware that there's tons of tools out there besides NLP tools. So, if you need a tool for math, or something like that, maybe research the right model for what you're trying to do with AI, because it's been around a long time. It's just when ChatGPT kind of came on the scene, everyone was just like, wow, but it's been around for a long time. So I think it's a matter of, just play around, use it for the things that are most prioritized to you in your life and in your business, and just kind of make sure that you're not that you're not asking for factual recent information, because it's only read the internet up to September 2021. Also, I think people shouldn't use it for blind copywriting. I think that it's very powerful in writing sales, copywriting, and content, but you need to really give it context. You need to check for plagiarism, because even when I was in college, even when I was writing papers, I hear a lot of people out there saying, oh, ChatGPT plagiarizes. Well, we all plagiarize. It doesn't matter. You could write your own Amazon listing and you could still get in trouble for copying a sentence from someone else and you didn't even know you had the same sentence.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. So you still have to do your checks and balances. The images that come out, you can't really copyright generative AI images. Like, nobody owns the copyrights to those, but you can edit those images and then own that image. So it's just important to know what the limitations and the capabilities are, and not take it at. It's like if we believed everything we read on the internet, we'd all be in trouble, right? So use it as a help, but also fact check. It's like trust but verify.
Part of any kind of emerging technology will have a lot of people making big claims, and they like to get attention by making things sound true that may not be true. And that's good for their newsletters or clicks or whatever. But fundamentally, AI is just a giant auto-suggest tool right now. It's not intelligent. It's just you make a prompt and it's auto-suggesting what it thinks you want to hear. And it's basing that on a bell curve of information, right? The information is distributed on a bell curve. You got the periphery and the two extremes, and then the most of the information is at the top of the bell curve. And it just tries, based on your prompt, to give you what it thinks you want. Now, we know, because it's trained on the internet, not everything on the internet is true. So it's not actually even the AI's fault. It's just calculating all of that auto-suggesting, going, well, here's what I think you want to hear. There's no reason to believe that AI tells the truth. In fact, I can tell you flat out, sometimes it lies. They have made a fun little marketing term calling it AI hallucinations, but it will just flat out lie to you. And it says it with such authority that why would you disbelieve it if you have no counter information? So making the assumption that AI is right is a huge mistake. I had to write a little bio for me, and it listed a lifetime achievement that I've never won and 2 books with titles that I've never written, nor do the books exist. So this, the idea that AI is reliable in the context of pure accuracy is a fallacy. Every week there are hundreds, if not thousands, of new tools that all solve some little micro niche problem. My recommend is not to try to keep up with that, because it's quite impossible. It's just to define what are the hardest challenges, and then what are the potentials of layering AI solutions into that. So from a marketing perspective, it is industrial scale production of content, right? You can, we've got plugins into our own system where you just say, you know what, we need blogs for July. So give me 30 titles 31 titles for July based on this subject matter to this audience in this tone of voice. And the machine just spits out, here's 31 potential titles. And if you approve all those, you just click the go button. Now in the background, it makes blogs, keywords, meta keywords, titles, summaries, descriptions. It just does all that work at an industrial scale. We still want the human to go in. We call it, it's AI assist. Everybody has their own name. Microsoft calls it Copilot, and I think Google calls it Duet. We think of it as like, a sidecar, right? You need something to ride along with you to make the thing go better. And so that scale of production in marketing, very simple, very easy to understand. And it takes things that we hate to do and makes them almost so easy to do that now your competition is definitely going to do it. So you'll be passed. I tell people all the time, AI is not going to necessarily replace your job, but somebody using AI will absolutely replace you.
Or crush you.
Correct. Yeah. Get with the programs.